Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. Thank you for joining today. If you are new here, it would be awesome if you would subscribe to my channel. That way you can be up to date on all my new videos. Today I am going to be propagating my large Monstera Constellation. So I purchased this probably a year ago or so, and it pushed out a really large leaf right here. But since then, the leaf coming out, it has been stuck. And so I've been watching it. I have fertilized it and watered it, humidifiers by it. It's in the southwest facing windows, kind of all of the things that I have tried clearly aren't working. And so I have decided to chop it and propagate the one portion. And then hopefully that will push the leaf out. And then I can have another cutting of it and put it back in the pot and create a more full Monstera. And then hopefully the leftover or the plant still in the pot will grow as well. So this is going to be difficult because it is a large Monstera. I'll show a video of it, but the inner node is very thick. And I have noticed on the Constellation, at least on this one, compared to my Deliciosa, the inner nodes are a lot closer together. And I think that that's a common thing on like albos and Constellations is the inner nodes, which is the part between each leaf, are closer together. And so it's going to make it more difficult to chop there. As an example, I have a small little Monstera, and I was just going to show basically on this where you would chop if you were going to propagate. Because again, I don't think you're going to be able to see it on this one. It's going to be really difficult. So here is this reverted Monstera albo. I got this for free quite a few months ago. It has not pushed out any new white on the leaves, but you can see like there's white veining throughout the plant. I showed this in a previous video recently. The parts of the plant that you want to chop, and you can see here, this is again an albo, so it's a little closer together, but usually you would chop like right below this aerial root area. So right here. And where the new leaf will emerge are called nodes. And so it's very difficult to see nodes on most plants. Usually they're just a bump like right above an aerial root. And that's actually where the new leaf will start protruding. It's not the aerial root area. This is just for it to root in. And so that's why you want to cut below it, because the new leaf theoretically should emerge above it. And so I'm going to do that on this one. It does have an aerial root emerging, and so I know where to cut, but I'm just going to be cutting on this large Constellation right below this aerial root. And that's a quick overview. Inner node, aerial root, node somewhere right there. So we have the plant here, and this is on a dolly, so it can easily be moved because it is extremely heavy. But I will show it on close shot. I'm going to use either these metal cutters, which I don't believe are going to work, or this serrated knife, because again, it's a really thick inner node. And I hope to not chop any of the other leaves off in this process, but if I lose one, it's okay. Now there are a ton of roots right here, like aerial roots. So we're going to chop it. I'm going to start with this one. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to try to cut as close to the last leaf as possible, as to not, I think this is where the node is, like under here or something, right here, because I don't want to chop the node part off. Ooh, it's stuck. Okay, so we can probably just plant this guy, because I was not anticipating it being this rooted in. That is a huge aerial root that has completely been rooted. Okay, so just trying to, okay, so I can actually just plant this. Do I plant it back in here, or do I plant it somewhere else? You can see here, whew, the roots, the aerial roots is really taken off right there. And the new aerial root that I thought I was going to have to root is right here. So I can actually just take this cutting and plant it. And you can see this is the leaf that has not emerged. So I don't know if I should also just chop this leaf off and leave it to a one leaf cutting. But that doesn't make sense, because this is the node right here. You can see this like bulge right here. This is where the new leaf is coming out, but it has not formed yet. So I'm just gonna plant this guy, I think, up and see what happens. I like to propagate in sphagnum moss. I think it has a better return or rate of return when I chop up a plant and they just grow better. However, that jar did not fit this because there were far more aerial roots and roots than I thought. And so I'm just going to propagate it in water. I did use some fertilizer. I think it's a new kind. So that was the sucky thing, is I thought I wasn't using good enough fertilizer for this guy, because I do like to stay on the more natural side. So I was using fish emulsion and worm castings, and I got a new fertilizer. I can't remember what it is. It's like Dynagrow or something. It's a very popular fertilizer that I've seen a lot of other houseplant people use. So I used it for this guy, and again, still nothing. So I had some water mixed up with that fertilizer that I just placed in this pitcher here because I have nothing large enough for this, and I ran out of soil. So I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to put this back in a southwest facing window in my living room this time, because it has, I feel like, a little bit more light maybe, especially at nighttime, like sunset, it gets direct light. So I'm going to set this in there, and then I will give an update on what happens with this guy. We'll see. Again, it's already well rooted. I really just want this like dead leaf to unfold and come out. That way it can start growing again. And I really hope that this mother plant takes off growing from the spot that I cut or around it. I am not sure, because again, I didn't take this out of the soil to see all the roots and where exactly the internodes were. So I'm not sure what this one's going to do, but I really hope it does something. Thank you for watching. I will give an update video on this as soon as I see results, hopefully. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.